Hi, perfect.
So now I just need to do the sound.
Can you hear me?
How do I do that? Oh, right here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So, hi, Mr. Muscat. Thanks for
Hello,
making.
how are you?
I'm kind of tired a little bit. How are you? You had a full day.
I'm doing, yeah, just got back from therapy for my thumb.
Yeah, I did
So
see that you've been posting on Instagram about that. What
yeah.
happened, if you don't mind me asking?
Um I was using some like heavy equipment and like a pallet jack, it's real heavy. I was moving something and I was coming into some doors and I don't know. The handle kind of it's kind of fast walking speed when it's electric, so it's fast walking speed. So the handle, it just came into the doors, and I think it hit the edge between the handle and the door. It hit
Mhm.
the edge, so it was just
It just
it
kind of went
broke it,
south.
fractured it, it fractured it, and it cut it open pretty bad.
I know. I saw the picture, and that no, even just looking at it, it hurt me, and I was just
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
at the picture.
it hurt pretty bad. So it was yeah, I had to go to the hospital and stay the night in the hospital. I had to have surgery on it, and I had like pins in it, but
Hmm.
it's getting better. I mean, like I can move my other one like that, but this
Hmm.
one can only go down to there.
Hey, we're still on the up and up. We're getting there.
Yeah, it's getting better. So
It's all that matters. All that matters.
yeah,
So, did that affect like I don't know how often you're playing gigs? Did it affect that at all?
um, I'm 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 playing here in Vegas probably about maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, and I had to take about 3 months off while I was healing. I think it was last weekend. I just played my first set of shows, I think last weekend. So
Awesome.
I had like October, November. I guess I had about three and a half months off.
Did you feel like just kind of lost because you're just like, well, what do I do now? I don't have shows.
I just played video games mostly. So I was, I mean, I got a little bit bored. Now a couple times to see my band play without me. I think one time I got up and sang some songs. So
Good.
yeah, it was okay. It was all right. I
All
mean, the
right.
most important thing is, you know, I mean, it was okay having a break, so
Right.
I've been playing music. I've been kind of playing music, for so long.
Hmm.
I mean, I've been playing live music probably since I was like 14 or 15.
Right. It's been a hot second.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I've played, so it's not like, it's kind of like the feeling like I've been there, done that. So it's not like I have to go out and play all the time. For
Yeah.
me now, it's like, I like it still, but it's less of I mean, before I guess it was more of a career. Now it's just kind of for fun. I still make money doing it, and it's still great. And once in a while, it's like kind of more serious, like when we go play this casino in California. But most of the time when I'm out here, I'm just kind of having fun and hanging out with my friends, and you
Good.
know, it's not like a lot of pressure.
Hmm.
Before, when I was, in the late 80s and early 90s, when I was like in Faster Pussycat, we were signed to a record label. It was a lot
Hmm.
more serious and a lot more pressure of like, you have to do this and you have to
Right.
do that. And you've got to make records, you've got to tour, and that's great and stuff. But I really enjoy um, being in Vegas and be able to play here and not having to tour.
Right. Just kind of play on
So
your own time.
yeah, and my kids are, I've been able to stay home and see my kids grow up. So I would
Mhm.
have you know, I would have hated to like miss, because they grow up so fast. I would have
Right.
hated to miss out on time. So now, like my daughter is starting to drive, and I'm home, so I
Already?
can like take her. Yeah, I'm taking her out, teaching her how to drive. But if I was on tour, I wouldn't be able to do those
Right.
type of things.
You'd miss those big milestones and they would just kind of be like,
Yeah,
well, I'm just gonna
yeah,
figure it out.
yeah. And so,
I
yeah,
was,
it's
oh, sorry.
oh yeah, yeah. I was just saying it's good to be home and to
Good.
be able to play here. I mean, I go out of town once in a while. We go from Las Vegas. We travel to California and play out there sometimes.
Okay.
But for the most part, yeah, I've been over. I mean, since about probably, I guess since I would say about since around 2005 or six, I've been able to pretty much just stay in Vegas and play. And
Not many people can do that.
yeah, it's been good. And for a while, I was doing. I mean, I guess before the pandemic happened, I was pretty much doing it on a full time base, like more of a profession, even out
Mhm.
here. But everything shut down when when the pandemic started, like in
Right.
the beginning of 2020. So everything shut down and all our shows shut down. So since then, I mean, we're back playing, but it's not as much, or I guess as like, you know, and I'm lucky that, I was able to, when I was younger, I invested in like, I bought a house pretty young actually when I was in Faster Pussycat. Like I think I was like
Oh,
25
wow.
or 6. So, and then I
Very.
like rented out, even in my house in California, I rented out rooms. So I was always, and then when I moved out here to Vegas, I got a couple rental houses. So I've been kind of lucky that I was able to do some
Right.
stuff with real estate and stuff.
All right. Look at you go. Perfect.
Yeah. I'm
Right.
not a, I wouldn't consider myself like a real estate mogul or anything, but, you know, it gives me stuff to do, just kind of property manage
Right.
some of the other houses I own and stuff.
Especially in like that location, that's gotta be pretty desirable for other people to be like, oh wow, like they're
Yeah, for a while I had the houses, my Vegas, I have a few houses here, but for a while I was putting them on Airbnb. And that was kind of wild because you have a lot of people come in for vacation, and
right.
that was, but it was a lot of work, meaning you have to, every time somebody kind of checks out, you've got to go in and have a cleaning crew clean it, and a lot of
Right.
maintenance. So right now, I just have like tenants, full-time tenants in there.
Hmm.
So it's a little bit easier, so you're not having
Right.
people in and out.
Hey, whatever works, whatever pays the bills.
Yeah, yeah,
So, shall we get this show on the road with my many of
sure,
questions? All right.
sure.
So, taking it way back, do you remember the first time someone had stopped and recognized you? Do you remember what was going on inside your head?
I'm trying to think. Um, so I mean, I don't remember like that so much. Well, I mean, what I remember was like, okay, so we were like a Hollywood local band before we got signed,
Right.
Faster Pussycat,
Mhm.
and we were popular, but it wasn't like everybody knew us. You know what I mean? It was sort of like, I mean, I mean, a lot of the local people, and when I'd go to a club, they'd be, oh, hey, Brent, and they, I'd be able to like kind of like get right in, hey, come to the front, kind of go to the
Right.
front of the line. But the thing I remember was when we first got signed and we went on tour, and we went out, we were on tour, and we were away from Hollywood for like about a year. And what I remember is coming back, that was like when we went to the club, it was like everybody recognized you. It was kind of like you walked in the club and everybody was just kind of staring at you, because it was like, oh, there's the guys from Faster Pussycat, and there's Brent Muscat. And that was the thing where it wasn't like one person recognizing you. It was kind of like coming back and everybody go, you know, knew because it was like you're the
Mhm.
band from Hollywood. So when you went back
Yeah.
to the club, it was like, of course, all the people, the local people that you knew before you left knew you, but it was like everybody who came to the club that was from a different city who never saw you before knew who you were. And it was like,
Right.
it was kind of wild, you know what I mean? And
Especially with
that
you
was
being
from
so
being in,
young.
yeah. And because I was basically pretty much right out of high school. I got signed. I mean, I think I was 6 months, 9 months out of high school when I got signed. So it was pretty wild. But um, yeah, we were in like, yeah, I mean, being on, when we were touring, we were able to be in magazines and on MTV.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, so people saw you, you know what I mean? If they went to like a record store or music, anything, they'd pick up rock magazines and, you know, so they would see you. So yeah, that was wild, you know, coming back. Because we were, like I said, when we left, we were popular, like a popular local band.
Yeah.
But when we came back, it was different. It was like coming back and all of a sudden you're famous. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just a little bit of a different thing, you know?
Right. Very unexpected, if you will.
Yeah.
So that being said, with everybody, almost like pretty much everybody, what it felt like, just noticing you and like, oh, it's Brent Muscat, whatever. Um, how do you feel that people had mistaken you for a woman?
Um,
I know that's weird. It's so weird, but I needed to ask.
well, when I grew up, I was really into like like, I mean, my heroes when I grew up were like David Bowie,
Right.
you know, and Alice Cooper and T-Rex and all the like glam stuff. So, you know, oh, I love like also like too when I was like in high school, I was into like Boy George Culture Club,
Yes.
and um, there was a band called Dead or Alive.
Yes.
Um,
Have you seen the lead singer now
so all the
for Dead or Alive?
yeah, he kind of like yeah,
Yeah.
but I was into all those. I was into that kind of glam thing where guys could wear makeup,
Mhm.
and so it wasn't like a big deal, and so it was kind of expected. I mean, I was, especially being really young,
Mhm.
putting on makeup. You know, I hadn't yet gotten. I mean, maybe like by the third record, I would say I grew up a little bit. I was a little bit more, I would say, manly.
Fair.
But still, when I was the first couple records, I was still really just young, right out of high school. So I was very I hadn't even grown up yet, really. I mean, I was still probably growing. So my male hormones probably hadn't kicked in fully yet. So I was very like, I guess you would say, uh, just yeah, I looked a lot like a girl. So it didn't really bother me. It was more like a compliment, really, if anything. Um,
I'd say
because a lot of my hero, all the stuff I grew up with, even Aerosmith, when they were young, in the first few albums, they're very like, you know, and New York Dolls, they all wore makeup. So
yeah.
everything I was into, there's a lot of like guys wearing makeup. It just it wasn't like a big thing, you know what I mean? I mean,
Right. Very much express the femininity kind of thing.
yeah, and you know, but it wasn't like it wasn't a whole thing like about nowadays. It's like everybody has to have like a what do you you know, what do you like or what do you identify? It's like for me, it was just kind of just it was like more free, you know. You didn't have to
Right.
be in like a little box, you know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
You could kind of just express yourself and be whatever you wanted to be, you know what I mean? It's like at the time, I mean, today if I felt like being like, you know, dressing up like a guy, I could, and tomorrow if I want to dress like a girl, but I didn't have to be like I didn't really identify as this or that, or you
Mhm.
know.
You
And
didn't have to.
all the heroes, well, all the heroes I grew up to, a lot of them I guess were like, you know, I mean, there was rumor. I mean, some of them, I guess, were like, I guess the Boy George from Culture Club was gay, but
Yeah.
like Bowie was bisexual, and
Mhm.
but more, it was more. Nobody really talked about it that much. It was just like thing, and it was just like it wasn't a big deal. You know, I think people make more of a big deal about it now.
Oh, for
But
sure, most definitely.
it was fun because people didn't really know. People couldn't figure me out. Like, oh, is he straight or is he gay? But for me, it was kind of like nobody's business. It was just like,
It
you know,
still is nobody's
it,
business, but people want
yeah,
to.
exactly. It was fun. It was fun to make people guess, and and it seemed like being at the time. It seemed like being feminine and wearing makeup. It seemed like I had more girls. I mean, it seemed like I had more girls attracted to me at the time than if when I then when I was more, because before I grew my hair out when I was younger in high school, my
Mhm.
first like freshman, sophomore, junior years, I was a punk rocker. So I had
Right.
spiky blonde hair, really short. I had a
Mhm.
mohawk, but I grew my senior year when I started growing my hair out and getting into all the glam stuff and back into rock. Yeah, it seemed like I was more popular to, to
To the
girls
ladies.
then. Yeah, so I mean, it was just kind of like, oh, but I guess it was more too about being in a band too. I mean, I guess there's a attractive part about being a musician as well.
Fair enough. But with that one huge hair, you know which one I'm talking about. The
But
huge
yeah,
like early on in the
I had,
band. Did that bring
yeah,
in ladies?
we just, I don't know. We had huge hair, but it was funny because, right, I think that was like before we got signed, we had really big hair.
Mhm.
And I think right around when we got signed, we decided to kind of like, instead of going for this big hair, let's go for more of like a gypsy sleaze kind of sleazy gypsy look. And
Yeah.
so we all kind of, at least me, and I went from going big hair, kind
Yeah.
of down and with the
Mhm.
ponytail and stuff and the
Yeah.
scarves and stuff. So that was a kind of a conscious decision on our part as a band. We kind of wanted to look a little different than some
Right,
of
of
the other
course.
bands
Why
at
look
the
like someone
time.
else when you can look like you?
Mm.
You're
And
actually
now, at the time, we thought we were so different than like everybody else. Even like we were so different than Poison. We were so different from Guns N' Roses, and But now, it's funny because now people will lump all of it together, like, oh, you guys were hair metal. So,
right.
but at the time, we thought we were like totally different. I mean,
So
we were
left
in the same
field.
we were in the same scene as
Yeah.
them, but we thought we kind of considered ourselves almost like different, genre or something. But yeah, nowadays they kind of lump all those bands together. But yeah, at the time, we kind of all thought we were pretty different.
And that's all you needed. That little boost of confidence and it worked. You're actually my hair's naturally pinned straight. So you're
Mhm.
actually one of the people that made me feel good about my natural hair, but then by the time I actually realized it, I had already gotten my perms and then I have huge hair. So it's
Uh,
it's fine. But you mentioned sleaze. So
mhm.
this one's a little bit weird, but did you see yourself as like sleazy before you had like written with Faster?
Mm, well, like I said, in high school, I was a punk rocker,
Right.
uh, and I was into like while I was into punk, of course. I mean, I grew up on all the classic rock stuff like Zeppelin, and like I said, I was into the Stones and Aerosmith and Bowie. Um, but we didn't really call it sleaze. I mean, at the time, it was more like what we liked, like Stones. I mean, like Bowie and T-Rex and New York Dolls. We just called it glam rock. So we kind of, when we put Faster Pussycat together, it was like we had different influences, but at the time, if anything, we would call ourselves glam rock. It wasn't until
Hmm.
later that like different titles came. People put different titles on it, later. So I mean, when we got together in '85, we
Mhm.
just said, oh, we like punk, where we just say, well, we're a rock band and we're influenced by glam and punk, and even we were influenced by also, what would we say, we called it goth music.
All right. I didn't know that.
We were really into like bands like Specimen, and even like more poppy goth bands, I guess you would call like The Cure,
Yeah.
and trying to think, Susie and the Banshees. And so we were really into everything. We had a wide range of stuff, but yeah, goth, punk. But yeah, when people used to ask us, oh, what do you got? We would say, well, we're like a rock band. But I think now looking back, when people like, I think sleaze rock is a good description of what we were, now. But like I said, at the time when we were doing it, nobody was
Right.
calling it that.
It was just like glam rock.
Yeah, that's what we called it. But I think sleaze rock's a way better description than just calling it hair metal.
Hmm. That way you wouldn't be lumped in with like Poison or like
Yeah,
others.
yeah.
Okay. Now a little bit of a fun one, even though I think the other ones were still kind of fun. If you had 3 wishes from a genie, what would they be?
I don't know. I mean, I
Have it
think,
be now or then.
well, I always think, I saw something the other day that, they were like, what would you like to have, a $20 million or a time machine or this or that? But the one person said if they had a time machine, it'd be easy to go back and like make some choices and make the 20 million would be easy.
You're
So I
right.
don't know. Some wishes, you know,
It is a
I
pretty
think that
loaded
the time
question.
machine, the time machine would be pretty cool, but I wouldn't want to be stuck back there. If you could go back and visit like a time and come back, that would be kind of cool. Because there were some really cool, fun times where you'd like to like go back and relive a few of those things.
When would you visit?
What's that?
When would you visit?
Oh, probably like that time, like the Faster Pussycat time, probably when we were at our second. I mean, once like our second album, probably at our peak would be good. So I would
Mhm.
guess around 89, 90, 91, 92, anytime around then would be really fun times to like go back if you could go back for a little while. But as far as wishes, I mean, I don't have many regrets. I mean,
Good.
I've made a lot of good choices, but I've made a lot of bad choices. But from the bad choices in life, you kind of learn from them,
Mm,
and it makes you kind of who you are. So
exactly.
yeah. So that's like I said, a genie. It'd be hard because there's not much I really would like want. You know what I mean? So I mean,
That's good. That's
yeah,
very, very good. I've never actually gotten that answer before.
yeah. I mean, like I said, if the genie came out, I would just say I'm pretty cool with what I got. I'm pretty happy.
Maybe a never-ending pizza if there's one.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Problem with some of those genie stories, you gotta always be careful what you wish for, because it's like if you wish for the wrong thing, you'll be like, no, I didn't. You never know, like if something happens, how it's going to change other parts of your
Yeah,
life.
like a butterfly effect kind of thing.
Yeah,
Sorry about my dog.
but that's fine.
He's just excited. It's after dinner and he's ready for bed. So, with all of that,
Are you on the East Coast?
I am, yes.
Which part?
It's 7:15. I'm in Ohio.
Are you in Ohio?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Right on.
I'm in Cleveland, the rock and roll capital.
Oh, nice. I love Cleveland.
For real? Oh my God.
Ohio is probably one of my favorite states. Out of all the states to play, Ohio just had some of the best audiences. Yeah.
Wow. It's nothing but cornfields here.
I mean, maybe, at least when I was touring, I don't know, it might have changed, but Ohio was always great. Cleveland, I loved Columbus, Ohio too. But yeah, some of the best audiences were there.
All right, good to know. All right. I know over it was April last year, I visited Vegas because the Scorpions were doing a residency with Skid Row, and I was like,
Yeah, I remember
yeah,
that.
I want to go. And I was hoping, hoping, hoping. I was checking like your Facebook, the band's Facebook, like every day, hoping you would make a show, and there never was, and I was so upset.
When was that?
It
Last
was,
year?
yeah, April last year.
Oh yeah, stuff was a lot, kind of still shut down a lot. I mean, things were opening
Yeah.
back up, but not that much, not yet, anyways.
I think like the day we got back, you had posted and you're like, who's busy this Saturday? And I'm like, come on, Brent. Last week, it could have been last week. But
Yeah.
but it's fine. It's fine. I'll survive. I'll come back at some point. Anywho, so what's one thing that you have done that you will never, ever, ever, ever do again? Because I know you said you made some mistakes. Let's pick the worst one.
Probably drugs, probably, for me, it's like, um, I mean, luckily when I was younger and in Faster Pussycat touring, I never really got into anything like that, drugs or anything. But
Mhm.
later in life, I've been like clean and sober now for like, I guess it's going to be 4 years. But like I would say 4 or 5 years ago was kind of a hard time for me
Oh no.
because I made it through all my youth and my young
Mhm.
years without doing anything, which is like the
Right.
time when most people get involved in it. But
Right.
for me, I had some surgeries and just some different things that happened with my hand where I had some pain. So I got exposed to like pain pills, and
Mhm.
then it just kind of got a little bit out of hand where I was just, using them a lot. And I think basically I kind of got addicted to them. So that was a nightmare, being addicted to opioids.
Mhm.
And it was really hard to get off of them. It took a while for me to quit. And that was hard, really hard. It was a tough time. It was probably one of the toughest times. So for me, I don't want to ever do that again.
Right.
Some people get on certain drugs and then they can't get off of them, and they
Right.
sad thing is a lot of people OD or die, um, or they end up in jail, you know, or they or end up homeless. So I mean, it's really bad. So that's one thing I just don't ever want to do again. So for me now, I don't really even drink, just because I don't want to drink and then get,
To the point.
stupid. Well, if I drink, I feel like my inhibitions will go down, and then
Mhm.
I could make a mistake, and it's just not worth it. Especially driving home. I always think like, if you drive and you have a few drinks, if something happens, you get in a car accident, you're screwed. You know what I mean?
Oh
You're
yeah.
just like, your life's over. Even if it was somebody else's fault, if somebody gets hurt and they test your blood and you've been drinking. So for me, that's one thing, I guess. So yeah, I've been clean and sober for, it's going to be 4 years. So, and my life has gotten a lot better. You know what I mean? So
Good.
I'm happy because you can kind of, and hopefully I could give other people hope that are struggling. It's like, if I could do it, you could do it. And it's tough, and sometimes you got to keep trying, because for me, it was something I had to try for a while, and I would stop and then I would start again. It was kind of off and on. So
Right.
it really took a while to really go, I'm done. And then, but yeah. So, and like I said, my life has gotten way better. Things have like just much happier, and
Mhm. You're very, very fortunate.
yeah, and not like, I mean, there was a time like 5 years ago. I mean, I was like spending so much money. I mean, the money and going into debt and selling stuff. I mean, things that that I should hold on to. I mean, things that are precious. I was like
Mhm.
selling stuff, and I mean, I got to the point where it was like, you know, you get to the point where you could actually like rob a bank. You know what I mean? It's like scary to think that, but you get to that point where you're like if you run out of money and you need something so bad, you would be, you know,
You're willing to do anything.
yeah, and it's really scary. And like I said, that was the scariest thing for me, is when I got to a point where, you know, the thoughts of like, you know, I mean, they cross your mind. I never did it, thank God. And but I mean, it could have gone that way. If I didn't quit,
Right.
I could have ended up running out of money. I mean, you know, people can blow through millions of dollars doing drugs, you know, and
Mhm.
see a lot of people that have died from opioids too, like Tom Petty. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people get it, and they struggle and they keep it secret. And that's the sad thing, is that they're probably, I was ashamed, you know, but I
Mhm.
think it's good to talk about it now, because if people are struggling, you have to kind of like tell people, hey, I'm struggling and I've gotten a, you know, it's hard to really admit you're addicted and then you
Right.
can't stop. But
First step.
that's part of the process of, yeah, it's part of the process of quitting, is admitting that you have a problem, you know, and you need help. And it's sad. I mean, I wish people like Tom Petty would still be alive if they got the right help, you know.
Yep.
I mean, Michael Jackson, I mean, so many,
Oh
Prince,
my.
so many people have died from drugs, you know. And you know, for me too, I made it through my whole life, and then to get hooked on stuff later in life was like, it really shameful. I mean, for me, I felt so ashamed, you know, like,
Oh,
you know what I mean? It was just, it
yeah.
was very shameful, but it was hard. But the main thing is like, if you can quit and just, you can build your life back, you know, and I've done that, you know.
Mhm.
So, and
And your
it takes
family was,
time.
sorry,
What's that?
your family was
What were you
behind you
saying?
every step of the way too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, I mean, that helped a lot. And like I said, thank God that, you know, I didn't lose, I could have lost my family, you know, they could have kicked me out, or I could have, you know, like I said, I was heading up, you know, something could have happened, you know, I was
Mhm.
definitely heading down the wrong path. And so that's one thing I just don't want to ever do again, you know, is that, you know, and
Very, very, very good
I,
thing to never do again.
and it's a constant, like I said, it's a constant struggle. So I don't like to say that I'll never do it again, because it's like, sometimes when you say, it's the main thing you got to say is like, I'm not going to do it today, and I'm going to try to stay clean. And you know, or you know, if I go out tonight, I'm not going to drink, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I never really had a problem with drinking, you know. Drinking, I could always drink one drink and be fine.
Hmm.
But it was just, those pills could be very, very, you know, and you think it's okay because a doctor's giving them to you, you know.
Hmm. And
So you think it might be something that's okay, but it's just not good.
it must be difficult with thumb.
Luckily, my thumb didn't hurt too much.
All right.
Amazing. I mean,
Good.
it hurt when it happened.
Right. It'd be crazy to think if it
Like
didn't hurt.
it hurt. Like right when it happened, was like, it really was crazy. Like it was like it hurt really bad. Like when it happened, but it hurt just like right when it happened, and then after it swelled up, and then it would just felt like it didn't really hurt. And maybe I was shocked, or maybe because it
Hmm.
got swollen, but it
Yeah.
just felt like a big, just like kind of throbbing, like swollen. And from then on, it didn't hurt much. When I was in the hospital, I, like I said, I've been clean and sober for like for almost, it's going to be 4 years. But when I was in the hospital, I've been clean long enough where it was like, okay, I know they're going to probably give me pain medicine,
Mhm.
but
Right.
it was like, it wasn't something I was that worried about, because I knew that like I was pretty committed to like, I'm not doing it and I'm not going to get back on it. So
Hmm.
if they're going to give it to me, it's only going to be while I'm in the hospital. They gave me like morphine while I was in the hospital,
Hmm.
but so
But you
uh,
freaking did it.
Well, I was in the hospital for 2 days. So once I got out, I didn't need it. My hand really didn't hurt much.
Right.
I think I took one pain pill when I got home. Like the first day I was home, maybe I needed one, but then from then on, I think I just took like ibuprofen, like
Okay.
Advil or something that's not addictive.
Right.
And then from then on, I was really lucky it didn't hurt, But
Mm.
and when it did, even now, I just kind of deal with the pain, a little bit more, you know. But you know, those medicines are great if you really need them. If you're in the hospital and you have a surgery, that it's like they're great for that. If you're sick and if you're really in pain with something, but yeah, it's scary. But so like I said, I mean, at some point in my life, I mean, who knows? I could be in the hospital again and I could need it for something. But
Mhm.
I just know I'm not going to ever do it like I was doing it before, where it became a habit and I was doing it all the time. I was like, you end up getting it from a doctor and then you run out, so you're buying it from somebody else.
Ugh, that's
But
never good.
it's scary now because they make like fake ones that
Yeah.
basically now they make like counterfeit pills, and they're just fentanyl, and that will kill you. I mean, you take too much, it will kill you right away. So I was actually really lucky to get off it when I got off it, because probably just right I quit doing drugs, all the fentanyl stuff came out. And I know people, some friends of mine in LA that had like drug problems. I know I've had friends like die from that. So I feel like I was really fortunate to get off drugs when I did, to get off of them when I did.
Right. Hey, at least you did it at all. And your family's definitely happy to have you around.
Yeah.
So, that being said, what's next for you?
What's next? I don't know. I mean, I don't really. I kind of take stuff day at a time. I don't really plan out like a year ahead.
Mhm.
Just for me, I just like the main thing for me was like the last few years was, like I said, the big deal was getting sober and doing that. So when I look ahead, it's more about like kind of staying focused and clean, and
Mhm.
you know I'll still play. I mean, I think maybe my new band, the band I have now called the Saints Las Vegas,
Yeah.
my plan is maybe make like record some music, some originals, and maybe some covers. But that's kind of one thing I want to do. But yeah, I think maybe make some new music, record some stuff
Mhm.
with my band. Other than that, you know, I just kind of live my life day by day, kind of a day at a time. I don't plan too much. Maybe I should, but I don't have any. Like I said, I'm pretty howdy.
All right. Okay.
So
So,
what I was, as far as like goals and stuff, I don't have anything major that I've done so much in my life that, like, especially with the music stuff, it's like I don't really have any desire to like do what I did because I've already done it. It's
right.
kind of been there, done it. So there's no super desire to like, I don't know. Like when I see bands touring and stuff, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I don't have to tour, you know? Um, but I
Yeah.
like playing here. And so I always tell people, if you want to see me play, come to Vegas sometime. Everybody comes to Vegas sometime, right?
Right.
So what better place? Everybody could come to, instead of me traveling and touring the world, everybody could come to Vegas and come see me. And a lot of people do come. I have a lot of friends that are from out of town, from Canada. People come in. I have friends from overseas, and they come in to let me know. I go, yeah, I'm playing. I tell them where I'm playing, and
Mhm.
it's cool. But yeah, I don't have. I'm pretty content with I guess, my life the way it is. So, and like I said, the you know, I've done all the music stuff, and
Mm.
so the main thing for me is just, I don't know. I don't
Just
really
being
have it.
human.
That's weird, but like, I'm just kind of happy that I'm alive. I'm happy I have my health and that I'm alive, you know.
All right. Taking every day as it is.
Fortunate, yeah,
Being
yeah.
bad.
And sometimes I'll go on, sometimes I look at like some other bands' dramas on tour and stuff, like on
Mm.
Metal Sludge or whatever. I like to sometimes those like news sites and some of the crazy stuff. And I just always like think like, oh, I'm so lucky I don't have to like tour, I hear stories too. I have a lot of friends that are touring still too. So I
Mm.
always ask them, tell me what happened, if something happened, like, I mean, for instance, I saw Steven Adler the other night, like got sick and canceled the show or something.
Like
And I'm
mid
like,
show.
yeah. And I used to play with Steven. I was in a band with Steven Adler for a while.
Right.
So when I see that, I'm like, I am so happy I am not out there. I'm so lucky. I'm so
Right.
lucky. And I'm lucky because, like I said, my band is kind of my band. I'm in some ways, I'm my own boss here. And I don't have to, go out and be in somebody else's band. It's like my band, and I have it here in town. And
Yeah.
so I don't have to deal with like a lot of drama. And there's just a lot of like shady people. Like I saw some stuff where like just you see bands that are out there, that are, and I just feel like I am just lucky I don't have to do it, because I was thinking too, it's good to be able to still play music, but I don't have to, you know what I mean? Like when I see
Mhm.
people that have to go out and tour, like to pay their rent, I'm just like, I'm really just fortunate. I've made, some decent choice. Like I said, with some of the bad choices, I've been lucky. I've made some good choices too.
Right. Been there, done that.
I've been there, done that. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much for taking some time to do this interview with us.
Oh,
Okay.
you're welcome.
I
Okay, it
hope
was
to.
fun.
You think so? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I hope to go back to Las Vegas and actually see you perform next
Sure.
time.
Yeah. Just always let me know. If you let me know, I can kind of tell you my schedule, and hopefully we'll play more. But right now it's almost
Right.
like it's been it's once a week or once every 2 weeks,
All
which
right.
is,
Not bad. Not bad.
yeah, not bad for me. And like I said, it's like I've been playing music for all my life. So it's like if I take a week off here or even 3 months, it's not for me, it's really just not a big deal.
Right. It's not dire.
Yeah, it's not, um, and so yeah, I just have other things.
Got
Like I said,
kids.
yeah, the kid thing is fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. It is. It's fun to watch them grow up. They just got my son just got his braces off today. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Look at him go.
yeah,
Got
it's
a,
cool.
got a whole man on your hands
Yeah,
now.
yeah. He's getting tall. He's going to be as tall as me pretty soon.
Really?
So,
I
yeah,
remember whenever you had posted about him, it was on Instagram. He was wearing like a cute little hat and stuff. He looked so little.
yeah.
He looked so
And
little, and now he's what?
he's getting big. Yeah.
Oh, was it okay? Wow. Was there before the tears start going? Even though I have no idea who your kids are, it's just before they start going. Was there anything else you wanted to add for the readers of the Metal Pit?
No, just if you come to Vegas, look me up and come say hi. I'm always happy to, talk to people or fans. And I always get kicked. I mean, some of the people like, sometimes I do come across some people and they're like, oh, you were in that band. And,
That one band?
yeah. And, oh, can you sign something? I'm like, sure. But I always feel like, you know, it was a part of me, but it's not me. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like, it was almost like a different life ago. You know what I mean? There's that person then. But yeah, sometimes I just feel kind of like I'm just kind of a regular dude. You know what I mean? It's like kind of, I don't
You're
know,
humble. That's good.
a homebody, I guess you would say, kind of, maybe compared to compared to some of the stuff I used to do, maybe on tour and stuff, maybe a little boring now, but I don't
Hey,
know. I
there's
like
nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with that.
I like I like having just a peaceful life, you know what I mean? Just kind of doing the right thing.
Thank you very much for taking some time to talk to me for like, well,
Yeah,
like an hour and a half. Oh my gosh.
yeah. Thanks for having me on,
Of course.
and
So I'll let
definitely
you get
come, come out to Vegas when you get a chance.
totally. I'll let you know whenever I come out.
Okay.
Okay. I'll see you. Hopefully I'll bump into you in the future sometime.
Okay,
Thanks for
cool.
having me.
All right. Thank you.